I was doing this series for the month of October where I followed a horror plant-based cookbook, and I just cannot do it anymore. Quite frankly, it is not a good cookbook. And it sucks to say that because I wanted to love it so much, but it got to the point where multiple people, both on TikTok and Reddit, were telling me that they were buying the cookbook because of me. And I just felt so bad. I feel like I had to talk about some of these issues because they're real ones. They're big ones. Now, I don't know this for a fact, nor am I going to state it as a fact, but I believe personally that some of these recipes are AI generated because there's no way a human could have made this and tested this and still include it in the book. So some of the very common issues that I encountered were ratios being off, the ratio of one ingredient being way too much or too little compared to the ratio of another ingredient. I feel like most of the time the cook time and the bake time should have just been disregarded. I feel like they wanted the cook time to be lower on the recipe, so they just lied about how long it was gonna take. I made an onion jam. It said to simmer that for 20 minutes. It ended up being closer to 2 hours. I mean, that's a big discrepancy. And I kept finding issues with recipes that had flour in them. And I measure my flour in grams, by the way, so I feel like there's no excuse. Even the recipes that stated like, oh, it might need a little bit more flour if your mixture is too wet, a little bit more flour. In this bread recipe that you're seeing right here, I feel like I added almost close to double the amount of flour, and it was still a wet, sticky, floppy mixture. And this was supposed to be a dough ball. This recipe right here was my final straw. It made me reflect on all the other recipes and how all of them had issues and how all of them needed adjustments. It's not that there aren't any good recipes in this book or that they can't be made to be good, but I believe that if you're following a recipe to a T, that recipe should turn out without adjustments. And for this reason, I will not be continuing this series. I would not recommend this cookbook to anyone. And yeah, this was a huge letdown.